Hi everyone, it's Lisa with InkandInspirations.com and welcome to week 10 of our 12 weeks of Halloween. And this week we'll be making this Halloween card. This is about the time you need to be getting these ready if you're going to send them out. So I thought, well, let's go ahead and play with this spooky fun set and the Halloween scenes edgelets. Okay, so let's look at what we're starting with. I have a basic gray base cut at 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Okay, and then I have a perfect plum layer of cardstock. This is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and that is going to layer on top of that. And then I cut a piece of smoky slate at 4 by 5 1/4, same as that perfect plum layer, but I'm wanting it to layer like perfectly across that front of that base. And then in order to leave room, it's going to not cut the bottom here. It's just going to cut the top. Therefore, it is an edgelet. It's going to go on the edge of your paper, okay, edge of your card or your project. And so I've done the tree in smoky slate. I cut it on my precision base plate, and I'm going to take my Big Shot die brush and just rub it over that and loosen up those little bitty branches there. And don't want to overkill, but let's see if I needed it some more. I think we're good. Might have a little piece to poke out here. And if you need for me to show you using the precision base plate, which does make this cutting these ornate dies much easier, let me know and I'll do a tip video on that. Okay, so I have that, and then I have my fence, and this is just a scrap. You can see I've already cut one of the fences from it, but this is 4 across. It's going to go behind that tree line, okay, the grass line there, and so I'm going to use my Big Shot die brush on that. Give it a good scrub, and let's see. Yep, I think we're good. Little piece to poke out right there. Okay, so I didn't need as much cardstock beyond the fence there. Let me move this so you can see against the white, because it was just going to go behind, okay, the tree line like that. So let me move my little edgelets out of the way and talk about what else we're going to do here. I am going to take, and excuse my messy paper, but I'm sponging, so I needed to just use a scrap. And I'm going to get some elegant eggplant, nope, not elegant eggplant, my Memento black ink. And I'm going to sponge a little bit on this smoky slate to just give it a little bit of a shadow and an eerie look. Not too much. I don't want to cover the whole smoky slate theme going here, but let's see. I have a friend whose birthday is on Halloween, and I like to, I'm going to try to send her a Halloween / birthday card. I thought this would be cute. She'll like it. Okay, so now I have that done. Let's go ahead and adhere the fence line behind that so we can keep track of it. And I like to put the adhesive right along here, and I'm using our liquid glue. Let's just put that just like that. Isn't that cute? Okay, so now we have that ready, and I am using the little pumpkins, the little jack-o'-lantern die cut and the little tombstone die cut. And I do this a little differently probably than most people. When I have these smaller little die cuts that have stamps that coordinate with them, I like to cut them first and then stamp, especially or only when I have photopolymer, okay? Because I can see what I'm stamping. Here's pumpkin pie. I'm going to stamp that on pumpkin pie. Let's see. I might need a piece of scrap paper so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more ink. And just going to hover over that and stamp. Okay, see there? Okay, now let's put the little jack-o'-lantern faces on there. I'm going to use Memento Black, and there are 3 different faces, and they kind of coordinate with the different size pumpkins here. So I'm going to put this long face on this pumpkin, and then there's a wider grin that I'm going to put on this widest pumpkin. Okay, and then a smaller one for the smallest one here on the right. Okay, good to go with that. Now let me see. Let me get, and I'm going to need my Memento Black. And did I, no, here it is. These little pieces. Okay, let me put that there. We're going to build up our pieces, and let me get my little tombstones and Memento Black again. I'm going to ink this up. When I'm not watercoloring, or don't need the dye to not run, because, you know, with watercoloring you need a dye fast ink, an archival ink like our basic black. But when I don't have to color or add water of any kind, I like to use Memento Black. Okay, so cute. Okay, if you can call that cute. I think it's a cute little combo of the edgelets and framelets and the stamp set. So now I'm going to go ahead and adhere these before I lose them. Let's get some jack-o'-lanterns right here in front of the tree, and then a little bit of adhesive right there, and I'm going to try to tuck that just ever so slightly like that. Okay, I like how that's going. Now let's go ahead and do our sentiment, since we're building up on this and it's all on this basic layer right here that's going on the bottom. So I have just a scrap of basic gray, and again my Memento Black ink, and I'm just going to stamp it here. Let me get the ink out of the way, and I'm going to use the classic label punch. I'm going to center that. It's nice when you have a little extra over here on the edge to hold. Okay, let's go ahead and put that on. Now we can look at our perfect plum layer. Let me set that aside. And let's get this, and I am going to sponge some Elegant Eggplant just to make that a little eerier, okay, and give it a little more of a deeper color. I didn't really want to use Elegant Eggplant cardstock. I didn't want it too dark, and I wanted to be able to sponge and just add some, you know, variations of tone with the ink, which you can see it's not real even, but that's okay. That's what I love about Halloween and sponging. It's like, it doesn't matter. The eerier and the more uneven kind of the better, okay? So just play with it and get it like you like it. All right, so now I have a scrap piece of crushed curry, and I'm going to punch it with a 1 3/4 inch circle punch. And then we're going to stamp our witch on that. And I just got the witch outline, the shadow. Again, I'm going to use Memento Black. And you could also die cut this witch out of black, but I just decided to keep it simple for this one since we've done quite a bit of die cutting already for this card. But oh, it's going to be so cute. Now let's take our crushed curry ink, and you guessed it, we're going to sponge around the edge of this moon. Add some depth to it. I'm kind of smearing. I should have let that dry. It's okay. It'll be a messy bitch. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to kind of position this before I glue it on. Oh yeah, like that. Now, I have the two bats that are from the Spooky Fun set, and I just position them on the same block, and I'm just going to randomly stamp them so we can have some bats flying around in the sky. Okay, let's put one coming in over here. Okay, good deal. All right, now we can start assembling. Let me get my... Okay, let's do this. Get some things out of the way here. And let's go ahead and put on our base down here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive behind those branches. I like it when it's not all glued down. It gives it more dimension without having to add a dimensional, okay? Isn't that cute? All right, now let's go ahead and put our moon. And then we can take that and add it to our base. So let's go ahead and take some liquid glue. And again, that's basic gray. Just like that. And I haven't decided, I may add some of those Halloween night enamel dots down here. I don't know that it needs it with all the bats and everything, and I do have a variation of color. I don't know, what do you think? I may just leave it like it is. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you again next week for week 11, and we'll be making another card. Thank you so much. If you have questions, let me know. Visit my website at inkandinspirations.com, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.